the Auckland side goes out. Dean Bell, their captain. They've been very good here at Ericsson. They had that win over Western Suburbs, which most people believe will be taken away from them. That's purely academic. They were brilliant against Brisbane. There's a lot of people think that they can pull off an upset tonight. Blake, Hoppy, Bell, Rapati in the centres, Tewa, Namu, Alexander, Solomona, Mann, Okasini, Kearney, Tatupu and Tumavavi. John Money, the coach.
And the team lineup for tonight.
But now Matthew Ridge has the honour of leading Manly out. No Jeff Tuvey. A lot of people have billed this match as New Zealand versus New Zealand. Let's have a look at this Manly side. Desi Hasler goes back into the number 7. Ridge, Hancock, Moore, Hill, Hopewati, Lyons, Hasler, Gillespie, Cunningham. He's at hooker tonight. Carroll, Menzies, Roberts, Kosef is at the back of the scrum as Cunningham pushes up into the number 9. Hasler into the 7. Tuvey out for a month.
Touch judges Colin Jones and Michael O'Malley.
Let's go down to the sideline. Greg Clark is with us down there tonight.
Well, no real wind to contend with down here, but of course these wet conditions I think are going to favour the home team. This big crowd will be very parochial, very vocal, and you know the Warriors have copped so much flack this week that calling them easy beats, and also the fact that some of them should go on a Jenny Craig diet has certainly been the great motivation that John Mooney and his men need. So I'll go for the home team in pretty wet and atrocious conditions.
Good on you, Greg. Greg from Television New Zealand. I guess Blocker would be quite happy that he's not out there tonight, because it's very much the raincoat and umbrella weather as Alexander starts. The crowd roars. The reserve grade, the Warriors had a very big win over Manly. 20 metres out from their own line, an ordinary play the ball by Carroll. It looked almost lazy.
About lazy,
Roberts
mate.
now.
I think he's actually been hurt in that tackle. Some very strong defence to start this game, and we'll expect that from a very physical Auckland Warriors pack. But Carroll, he's just dropped out the back now. A little bit worse for wear.
Kosef is with it. 35 metres out from his own line.
Interesting move from coach John Money with the Warriors, that Gene Namu is actually playing back at fullback in defence, and Phil Blake is up in the defensive line.
Very strong defence from the Warriors. They took Cunningham out with a very strong double tackle. Now Namu back at fullback, runs it out to the 30-metre line. Warriors first touch of the ball. Ward, Eddie Ward penalises the Manly defenders. Holding down. Roberts wasn't really the offender, though he's been spotlighted. In fact, it was the winger Hopewati who was the chief offender, as Namu kicks into that big stand on the far side of the ground. Ericsson, formerly known as Mount Smart Stadium, the home of the Commonwealth Games, track and field. The Warriors have managed to put stands lining the field. They've turned it very much into a rectangle rugby league ground as Alexander comes across the ground and turns Stephen Kearney back into the centre, and Kearney can't get up. Thought he was in trouble, but he's obviously recovered fairly quickly as Mann takes play to the left of the ground, 30 metres out from the line, through Alexander. And now Namu. Namu steps against his old club, looking for a gap.
Yeah, good tackle there by Menzies.
Menzies rolls away from the tackle. Bell goes blindside for Alexander to grub it into the in goal. A big in goal here too. Matthew Ridge is aware of that. He didn't get a touch on it according to the in goal judge. It'll come back to the 20 for the restart.
That's very cool work there from Matthew Ridge. Willing the ball over the dead ball line. Didn't want to play at the football and come up with a line drop out. Great work from the fullback.
Now Cunningham. Hasler coming up a dummy half, and coming up a dummy half again is Hasler. And now against the Warriors for holding down in the tackle. So Eddie Ward letting them know he's in charge. Letting them know very much that he wants the tacklers to roll away and get out of it. Let them play the ball. He's looking to try and open it up. Terry Hill now crosses the halfway line. And now Hasler again a dummy half. There's Gillespie forces the play now about 8 metres into Auckland's area. Carroll, he seems to have recovered. He was stung in that first tackle, according to Peter Sterling. And the big fellow plays it, and they go inside the 40-metre line again with Lyons holding it back. Cunningham tries to get through, loses the ball, comes away from Solomona, back into the hands of the lock forward. Tumavavi will play it now, 25 out from his own line. Auckland looking to resurrect their image here, following an absolute shellacking against North Sydney last weekend. The 11 is Stephen Kearney, and the roar goes up from the crowd as they call for the Warriors. Solomona playing in the 8 jumper today.
I think
Dean Bell now will play it just short of the halfway line.
The bottom line for the Warriors, Ray, is that they must get points on the board. As a penalty goes to them, that's a good luck to them for holding down the tackle against Owen Cunningham, but if they do get the 2 points taken off them, they're still on 0. Early in the season, people were talking about them being a top 8 chance.
Well, I think it was always a pretty big expectation of them to make the top 8, and I'm pretty sure Coach Money would be quite happy if they finish in the top half, and I think that's what he said. The top 10 maybe, but the top 8 I think was a very big expectation for them. This is Solomona, just outside the 20-metre line. Has come from man, gone across now for Ocassini. Man on the run around, picked up and driven into the ground by Gillespie. Just inside the 20, Alexander away. A pretty quick play the ball, Alexander again. Bell with it, now steps, tries to get through. He's 12 metres out from the line, Dean Bell. That's where they are as they come again to the blind side, and running hard is Ocassini. Nitro. 8 metres out now. Line just in front of them as Alexander spreads it. Namu delivers for Kearney. Kearney wrapped up by Ridge. 0-all, 5 gone, 5th tackle. Alexander, a cut-out ball, dropped onto the boot there by Blake, but it goes over the dead ball line.
Well, excellent work from both teams there, although that kick a little bit too long from Phil Blake. Some inventive attack. Blake on the kick on the last goes through too deep, but some tremendous defence as well. Nick Kosef, Matthew Ridge came up with a great tackle. It's gone Kearney wide out. Luke Lyons just gets a bit of attention from the trainer.
See that David Gillespie is coming to the sideline here. I think he's got a little gash above his left eye. I think it will become an official blood bin. Manly sending on a replacement now in jumper number 28 is Matty Dunford.
Number 28, Matthew Dunford on for Manly.
It's an unusual move from tap restarts that Manly employed. Terry Hill comes in, the wingers get involved. When you see the front rowers or second rowers hit the ball up, Fulton looking to get his backs involved as much as possible.
Having said that, Peter, he's obviously told Des Hasler to go in and give him 6 running forward by using Des as dummy half. Cunningham being used as a running forward. This is Carroll now to the halfway line.
Yes, I think you'll find, Ray, that Desi's playing dummy half and Nick Kosef, in general, players playing halfback.
Now Blake back on his own 20-metre line. Blake again, another of the Warriors playing against his old club a number of years back. But he was great with Manly. In fact, it was from the Manly club that genius of Phil Blake surfaced. And here's a chance. That was Rapati, and the penalty goes to the Warriors. Dane Manly infringing the rules.
Yeah, nice pass there. T. Rapati hitting that gap at speed, and then Dunford come in for the second tackle. It's the 3rd or 4th penalty that's gone against Manly for that infringement. Cement's getting a patch up there on the sideline.
3-1 the penalties to the Aucklanders, and look at Ocassini, a crowd pleaser, and he takes that long mane and the head down into the defence as now Alexander comes across. A decoy run once, and then this is Tatupu. Very good ball player. Both second rowers and the lock, the back row, very confident in ball distribution. Rapati is in this side since the last time we had them on television. Remember, it was Manoa Thompson. This is Tumavavi. Again, they're inside the 10-metre line, and they've had the better of the territory by a country mile. They go to the right through Namu. Now with Alexander. Bell was running decoy. Kearney is out wide. Kearney gets rid of one, but now Manly surge in defence. Call for reinforcements on the blind side. This is the last tackle. Bell across for Alexander to Namu. Namu holds on to it, gets it back. This will be a try. Will it? Yes! No! Double movement rule by Eddie Ward. A brave refereeing decision, particularly in front of this crowd. And they're giving him the rounds of the kitchen.
This will be interesting to see on the replay. Eddie Ward was right on the spot. You've got to give him that. And that's a try.
No, it's not. No way, not my book.
Well, I don't know whether the left elbow touched the ground. Let's have a look.
It's a try,
Rats.
Is that a try or not? The left elbow carrying the ball didn't touch the ground.
You're of the opinion that it didn't touch the ground.
Only because it didn't.
Only because it didn't.
I must tell you, I was of the opinion that the actual arm carrying the ball did touch the ground. On the other shot, and you've had 2 or 3 goes at watching it now.
Oh, turn it up, man.
No, I'm agreeing with you. The other shot provides a different opinion of it. Turn it up. Go, Seth.
Eddie Ward, he was obviously on the blind side of that. He had an open shot of it, but he didn't see that. Probably made it. He gave the benefit of the doubt against men.
Well done.
What am I saying?
Ridge back inside for Cunningham. Lions back into the centre of the ground between the winger and fullback. This is Sean Hoppy coming over to take some pressure off his fullback. A few metres inside the 20-metre line. Tewa, who had an outstanding game in the opener against Brisbane, you might remember. Mann comes away to the left and crosses the 30-metre line. Buried eventually by Roberts. Menzies assisting in the tackle. Alexander from dummy half for Tatupu. And he's out to the 40-metre line now, the big Kiwi. Blake. Blind side, they go for Hoppy to menace Papawani, if you like, but the youngster held his cool. It's come away from Alexander into the hands of Namu on the end of the tackle count. And Craig Hancock played at the ball. Nearly went into touch. They're all onside. And Hancock beaten by the bounce of the ball.
We see the kick so important at every game of football, as Terry Hill beats 2 or 3 but makes no metres. On nights like this, very slippery. It's lush out there, the Ericsson Stadium. The kicking game is going to be extra important.
Hancock slammed back by Okasini. Gillespie now gets it away, back for Hasler. He hurdles Gillespie. Hancock gets it on. And this is Terry Hill, backed up by Hasler to the halfway line. And Blake comes across, and the touch judge rules that Des has gone into touch. And from the long angle, it looked like the touch judge got it wrong. Hasler looked at him, bewildered by his decision. 0-0 after 11 minutes. Nil all, Auckland and Manly, with Auckland at the moment packing all the guns. A try disallowed to Auckland. You saw it, a controversial decision by Eddie Ward. No doubts. First time he saw it, he thought it was a double movement. On the replay that we've shown you, and we're privy to it, second angle proves the arm didn't touch the ground. So the Aucklanders are very disappointed.
The 3 halves for Auckland, and I include Phil Blake as one of those inside men, starting to come into their own. There's Alexander putting the little kick over, but Ridge in great position, and he'll earn a penalty here. Eddie Ward ruling the Manly defender knocked the chaser in Greg Alexander. This should be the first points in this game. Matthew Ridge, the man being called out.
One thing about Eddie Ward, he does make snap decisions, doesn't he? He doesn't hang around thinking about it too long. He just goes bang, whooshka, there's the penalty. I'm just wondering if on that double movement, if he maybe he should have gone to the in-goal touch judge.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt that he had to get as much input as possible. Even this far touch judge on this side of the field had a better view, because that's the side where the ball was placed. In fact, it was wasn't Matthew Ridge, of course, who came up with him. He must have questioned the referee about the decision. Gene Namu, who's taking the kick, would be looking for a big game against Manly, his former club, left there under not the best circumstances from his point of view. Be keen to really have a big one.
Eddie Ward, I think you'll find, was the bloke with the whistle, that memorable match at ANZ between Brisbane and Canterbury, where there was a blatant push in the back. Remember that incident? No luck at all that night for the Canterbury club. In fact, I think from memory it cost them victory that night, and we all were then critical of Eddie Ward's hasty decision on that occasion. 2-0 Auckland. Namu successful with the boot. Hasler waits in expectation of holding the ball upright for the kick-off by Ridge, and Ridge puts it over the dead ball line.
And that's great play by Manly. The quick kick-off. Most referees don't let that happen these days, but he saw that Auckland was set, so he let it go. The Manly boys got up there quick. Desi set it up, and Ridge came in and booted it. And the Auckland at the back there weren't prepared for it.
Yeah, on the other side of the coin, Paul, that's a woeful mistake by Auckland. They were all back to 10 metres, but they didn't have all points covered. It's just giving away good field position here. They should take the football on about the 40-metre mark and have 6 tackles up their sleeve.
So the line drop out now. And Cunningham very careful about how he takes the rolling ball, and now he plays it inside the 30-metre line. Carroll goes ahead, angles towards the centre of the ground. Again, a joint tackle by the Warriors, Solomona, one of them, and now Roberts gets it to within 15 metres of the line. 2-0 Auckland, penalty goal to Namu. They've had a try disallowed. They're inside the 20-metre line as it comes across the back, and now Lyons cuts out Menzies, goes to Hill, and Hill is slammed down 19 metres out from the line. 15 minutes of the match gone. They're now going back towards the centre with Cunningham put away. 11 out. 5 tackles gone. And Lyons comes to the blind side, and beautifully given for Ridge to put it over the line. Oh, tremendous anticipation by Lyons and by Ridge.
Well, it was great vision from Cliff Lyons. He actually went from the left side of the ruck to the right side, saw that they were short. Matthew Ridge running into the gap. Bad mistake there by Tira Party going in when not needed. And, of course, that goes back to the fact that they let the ball go dead from the kickoff.
Great stuff by Cliffy. He might be 34, 35, but he's still got it. And just set it up nicely. They actually set up for that. They went in and set up for that blindside play.
It's just a marvel, isn't he? And that's why he's lasted so long in the game. The ability to read the match so well. Just saw the opposition a little bit short on the blind side. They didn't come up that quickly. You've really got to sprint up when you're on your own line. The fact that it was the last tackle, a lot of the Auckland Warriors were sitting back waiting for the kick. They paid the penalty. Tough kick for Ridge.
Well, 16 career tries for Matthew Ridge. Reserve grade, incidentally, I mentioned it was a big win for Auckland, 48-0. Warriors 48, Manly nothing in reserve grade. Ridge near enough to the touch line, and look at the accuracy of the man. Converted try to Matthew Ridge. 6-2 Manly after 16. Welcome back. We're telecasting tonight from Auckland's Ericsson Stadium, with Manly leading the home side 6-2. The home side having by far the lion's share of territory and the better of the game up to the 16th minute. Manly only had to get a smell of possession inside the Auckland 20-metre line. The first time they did that, and they put it over the line via Matthew Ridge. 3 metres out now from the Manly line. Talking of Matthew Ridge and one thinking about rugby union, the All Blacks, John Kerwin scored a good try in reserve grade for the Warriors, and I believe I saw Andy Platt out there as well playing a half a game in reserve grade. Lyons now goes across to reach to kick, keeping it fairly low, bouncing on the 30-metre line. Coming off the 20 is Blake. 6-2 Manly. 18 minutes gone now. Hill is there with Menzies to hold Blake up. Oops. Is there a touch of a forearm in there? The referee thinks there was.
Silly stuff from Terry Hill. A grapple there between the two players, and the elbow from Hill became involved. It's not the kind of thing that you need in your game. Swing arm there was an appeal from the crowd. That's just silly work from Terry Hill. Expect better.
The penalty goes for Auckland to improve down almost to the 20-metre line. 25 out, in fact. Tap being taken by Mann. And the head goes Solomona. Left of the ground. Mann takes it towards the centre. Ocassini is there. Puts his hand up for a lot of work. 12 metres out from the line. They're in the centre of the park. Alexander's got players around him running, looking for it. Each of the players looking for it were members of the back row. Kearney played it. It's now with Tatupu, his second row partner. To the right of the ground they are now. They come back for Alexander, the run around with Namu, and then cut out Bell over the shoulder of a party, picked up by Taiwa. And Hill is there to put him away. That's 5. 20 minutes of the match going by. Namu's kick. Oh, plucked out of the air by Sean Hoppe. And Hoppe gets the Warriors' first try of the night. Well, Hopewadi, he was distinctly disadvantaged. He was standing still, going backwards. The other man was coming forward with the hop, step and the jump. And it was made to look easy for Hoppe, even though there was a little juggle at the end.
Beautiful kick by Namu. It's Hoppe on Hoppe there. And Sean Hoppe gets the try. John Hopewadi there. He didn't leave the ground. Going backwards, and Hoppe out jumped Hopewadi with a hop.
Well, that's the beauty of that kind of kick, the fact that the defender really has to stand his ground, and the momentum was with Sean Hoppe. And you look at little incidents that happen in the game. Terry Hill giving away a penalty. Now, they may have got down that close through that set of 6, but just by giving them better field position, made it a touch easier for the Warriors. At the end of that set of 6, Sean Hoppe able to fly and put on the first 4-pointer for his side.
We must ask Terry Hill about that incident on the footy show on Sunday, Rabs. It's back, the footy show on Sunday at 11 a.m, live from Parramatta Stadium. And Terry is one of our very special guests. And of course, Rabs, you'll be making an appearance.
Yes, they've pulled me off the bench to take a seat alongside the whippersnappers on Sunday. Hopefully we can put a bit of sanity into the show.
It's not often the 48th reserve gets a start.
Well, that's right.
You're on.
I'm sick of wearing this 48 on the back. You're a lunatic, you are. Namu now from an acute angle. 21 out. 9 metres in from touch, and oh, he's done a dipsy-doodle. He spilled his lollies. He made his approach. So 6 points all. 21 gone. Nice try. One of the classic wingers in the game. A very correct winger, is he not, Sean Hoppe? Penalties 5-2 against Manly. Doesn't come as any great surprise, I suppose. It's amazing how many times the penalty counts go with the home side. We talk about Marathon Stadium being the Coliseum or the pit. I think some people call it the pit. I reckon this is going to finish up getting one of those names in the not too distant future, because they're going to always be proving very hard to beat here.
The defence on both sides tonight has been nothing short of sensational. 21 minutes into the match and only 5 missed tackles on a greasy ground. That's great work by both teams.
I fear for this man's spine. Ocassini.
It's a very physical game, isn't it? The front row is belling it up hard. It's Kearney operating on the fringe of the ruck, which he does very, very well. And this is what the Warriors needed after scoring that try. Good set of 6. That will now be the 5th. They'll be looking to kick the ball deep into Manly's territory and force the mistake.
Looking at some of this Manly defence, that they've done their homework on the back rowers. We've talked about the fact that they are very good ball players, and to this point in time, I don't think any one of the back rowers has been able to pop a pass.
Big hit again on Matthew Ridge.
He's on his own 20-metre line. They come away with the winger, John Hopewadi, reaching the 30-metre point. 6 points all in front of a big crowd at Auckland's Ericsson. 5th round match of the Winfield Cup. Carroll now. Spare a thought for these players preparing for tonight in the face of what has been a history-making week of controversy surrounding the game. How do you prepare? Roberts, and on that score, the Manly players would have been under probably greater pressure than any club. Menzies now crosses the 30, sprints over the 20. Steve Menzies, he makes it. Ah, Kangaroo star of 1994, star of the Winfield Cup with 16 tries last year, and he leaves them grasping at thin air.
And a superstar of the future. But he benefited from some great work from Ian Roberts, attracted 3 and 4 defenders, and that's the difference between the Auckland pack at the moment. Their 2 front rowers really not getting any second phase work going, but he still had plenty to do, Steve Menzies. Great evasion, tremendous speed. What a player.
How good is he? But a great ball by Nick Cossett. He's having a fine game tonight, Nick. With some lazy defence back on the inside from the Auckland Warriors. And Phil Blake couldn't match it with Steve Menzies right on the sticks. That's a great try for Manly.
Just has sensational balance, doesn't he? The bottom part of his body seems to move, but he's got tremendous balance up top. Kind of stuff that we used to see from Steve Rogers, Brett Kenny, that style of running. I don't want to put too much pressure on the kid, but gee, moves nicely.
Ridge then from right in front. And he keeps his record unblemished. So another converted try to Manly. 24 minutes gone from Ericsson Stadium. Manly 12, Auckland 6. We're back in a moment. Don't forget to tomorrow morning at 6, the US Masters, second day. 5:30 a.m. Sunday, 6 a.m. Monday. Check your local guides for the exclusive 9 network coverage of the US Masters. Danny Moore. Don't know that Danny's had the ball in his hands in the match thus far. Probably no fault of his. Hasler playing it now as we approach the halfway line. Oh, and put down by Manly. Put down by Nick Cossett. That's an opportunity that Auckland are looking for. That's what you're looking for in the modern game, for them to make a mistake in their own territory.
He just took his eyes off the ball there, Cossett. Some good pressure coming from the marker. Just had a little bit of a look. The marker rushed out quickly and caught Koseff's eye. So the scrum feed for Alexander, 45 metres out. And they've stacked 3 players on the blind side, which has opened up the left-hand side. Pretty well wrapped up there, Cliff Lyons.
Party channeling back in towards the centre of the ground. The Warriors with Logan Edwards on in 28. Now man comes away to the left of the ground. Fairly wide blind side.
He's going for a knock on.
Yeah, lost it in the tackle, Dwayne Mann. A good, strong tackle over the top from Ian Roberts. Pummeled him into the ground. The ball came loose. Head on the head for Roberts. As you've got to take into account as well that the Manly club have been without Bob Fulton all week. He's been involved, of course, working with the ARL and all the drama, and Marty Gurr's been running the side for most of the week, the reserve.
Yeah, I made that point earlier that of all the clubs, you know, you've probably got to think that Manly's been under more pressure than any of them, given that their coach was vital in what's been happening during the week. Not only vital, but unable to carry out his job with the Manly club for the most part. Penalty goes for Manly, and Hasler, he knows that 3 of the Warriors were inside the 10, so he gallops almost 20 metres before reaching the defence line, and the other 3, they couldn't touch him. And here's Manly starting to put it together with forward backing up forward. Koseff is put away. That is the 30-metre line underneath him as he plays it. Carroll gets a move on, gets some steam in the tank, and gets up to the 20-metre line. They've got a big back line, and that has put a bit of a hesitation mark on it. Menzies with it. Conditions out there very greasy. As the 5th tackle comes, and Lyons keeps it in low, and not quite enough weight on it to trouble Hoppy. And here's a good run by the try-scoring winger for Auckland. Not a good run, a great run. He's got it back out to the 20-metre line. Got rid of 3 of them in the process. Man away for Edwards to be put away by the number 11. That is Menzies again for Manly. There's the kick by Cliff. not quite enough weight on it. And then Hoppy with this good run. He beat two, including Menzies and Lyons, and then Ridge. And now Manly comes back 30 metres out from the line. Turnover. Auckland losing it, coughing it up. Manly gets their chance. Played by Hasler. Cunningham, a dummy half. Thinks about trying to split between the markers. They close the gap. That's the 20-metre line. Centre of the ground. They come to the right. Lyons turns it inside. Menzies away. Left two of them. Flick passes. Hill is with it. Comes to Taywar. Puts the ball out, but he loses it.
Oh, you wouldn't believe it. Another great run by Menzies. Terry striving to get the ball over the line, and it came loose with the wet conditions. There's the lovely inside ball now, Terry. This is a good tackle by Ta'iwa. Terry just stretching.
Warriors with Edwards now. No markers, plays it ahead. Roberts has to keep out of it. Almost to the halfway line. 12-6 Manly, 30-minute mark coming up. Moana has gone on for the Warriors. This is Okasini. He stands and unloads in a hit and spin. Back for the captain, Bell, to try and break the line. It's closed, though, by Kosef and Menzies. Now, coming from the right to work on the left is Alexander. He holds it back, and Rapati pushes it across, and it's with Kearney, and Kearney is on the 40-metre line. Manly's entered the park, got rid of a fragile tackle. That of Gillespie, it went through Bell. It's 6 more tackles. It's gone now for the fullback to unload. Blake it was who used Hoppy, and he's put away by Lyons. And also involved in the tackle was Danny Moore. They're on the 30-metre line as it comes away now for Okasini to be hit by Roberts, two of the game's big men. Roberts putting Okasini away. They've gone inside the 20-metre line. Mann is up towards the 10. Ridge comes in to make a 3-man Manly tackle. 12-6, the Eagles in front, but now they've got to resist this latest attacking raid by the Warriors, who come across to Namu. Namu half smells that there's a gap and then decides to take it to ground. Hill was there with Hasler. Dummy half is Tatupu. Alexander wants it. He's with it and turning it to the outside. Logan Edwards shovels it away. It's gone through Mann. Blake now. Blake runs towards the winger. Hoppy has to come back. Hoppy is put away. On the 5th tackle, they're 3 metres out from the line. And Eddie Ward, I thought he might have given a penalty against the Manly forwards. He was looking the other way. Namu puts the kick into the end goal and then taken over the dead ball by Craig Hancock. They'll get the ball back, the Warriors.
Again, great stuff from both teams, and you just saw a reason why Manly have only conceded 9 points their average a game this year. Tremendous defence. Craig Hancock turned around, got back quickly. There's Hasler going to the blood bin, a nasty cut. And another set of 6, the Tide with the Warriors at the moment as they look to put some more points on the board.
A lengthy delay in getting the line dropouts activated. Solomon Hamano goes out to take the place of Des Hasler. Crowd voicing their disapproval about what they probably think is a delaying tactic by Manly. And now Ridge's drop kick bouncing just beyond the 40-metre line. Hoppy comes back. Carroll there as a reception committee with Roberts. To the left for Alexander to use his captain, Dean Bell. Manly asked to make 87 tackles, Auckland 70. This again is Edwards, and a good tackle by Omano. From Mann to the right for Alexander to go onward for Namu and Bell to combine. Menzies wraps him up. Namu a dummy half. 28 again is Edwards, very busy. Alexander away for Okasini, gets a pass out and then flicked out by Kearney. Ta'iwa is there. He's running an arc as he comes back inside the 20. Hancock pursued and put him away on the 5th. Mann back now. They come from right to left, and Alexander runs away from Hamano, puts the kick in, back over his head, turns Hancock around, and again 6 more for Auckland. How much more can Manly sustain?
Oh, that was brilliance from Greg Alexander. Was running out of time and space and somehow got a kick back into the field to play off the side of his boot, deliberately so. Hancock not able to take it on the full. Another 6.
They're a fine defensive unit, aren't they, Manly? They're just, every time the Auckland Warriors spread the football, there's numbers there, and they're toing and throwing, and they're covering all aspects of defence tonight. Well,
it's not as though the Warriors are just taking one out either. They're looking to keep the football alive at all costs.
Ginamu.
I would like to see Greg Alexander take them on, though, Pete. He's running to the line and setting up his players, but so far tonight, 30 minutes of the match, he hasn't taken them on and tried to beat them.
Kearney now. Wrapped up and put down by Cunningham and Carroll. Now a penalty. Penalty goes to Auckland.
And this is a tough decision. They've had 14 tackles in this area. Dean Bella's rushed up. That indicates they're probably going to kick for touch or take the quick tap. Or maybe kick for goal. Oh, that'll do, mate.
Yeah, you got it.
Well, I've got to say, in that situation, I'd have been tempted to take the tap. A lot of pressure.
What were you looking at the end of the total of this set? You're looking at 18. There's not too many who can hold out for that long.
And if you get the opportunity, they'd have been close enough to maybe roll the ball into the in-goal area again. So it wasn't as though that might have been all the tackles that they'd have had to do down this end.
Yeah, I think the Manly players would be breathing the big sigh. Be happy that the kick's being taken.
Yeah, that's the best indication at times, isn't it, Paul, with the penalty doing the opposite to what the opposition wants you to do.
Just a reminder that tomorrow, as we go into an incredible weekend of sport on the 9 Network. Wide World of Sports tomorrow, 12 noon, with Ken and Max. The Kellogg's Nutri-Grain Australian Surf Lifesaving Championships, and the Tui's Golden Slipper and BMW from Rosehill Gardens. It'll be a tremendous Wide World of Sports tomorrow. And then tomorrow night we take you to Darwin for rugby league, and he's missed that kick. Oh dear, that is 2 points that might come back to haunt Ginamu, the 2 that got away. Yeah, tomorrow night Sydney viewers from Darwin will see the Roosters and the Magpies. Andrew Voss and Steve Roach. 8:30 Sydney, 10:30 Brisbane.
And Des Hasler back into the fray. I imagine a stitch-up job. Romano has left the field. Matthew Ridge will take the drop out. 36 minutes almost elapsed.
Tewa. Cunningham hanging an arm over the shoulder. A couple of people crying for a penalty, but start giving penalties for that, we might as well turn it up. Penalty now goes to them. What's the penalty count now, Fatty?
Anything you want, Rebs. 7-3, that is. It's a fair income carve-up in the penalty department.
Well, hang on. Well, you carve up. You only get penalised if you're doing things wrong.
Yeah, but Pete, Auckland have been offside all night as well. He has only penalised him 3 times. And that's not Manly bias coming out at all.
Cassini plays it now. They're just outside the 20-metre line. Kearney comes across. They use a run around with Mann, and Tatupu is put away. Now from Alexander, they go across from Moana, and then Alexander again. A very involved game, but Paul has made the point that he hasn't really taken them on. He'd like to see him do that. Dean Bell playing with a hairline fracture of the thumb tonight. In fact, 4 of them are injured, taking injuries into the game, including Alexander, but Dean Bell the worst of them. The dummy half is Namu. To the right they go. Alexander shows himself as a decoy. Kearney is there now. Kearney has to be watched. Moore and Lyons put him away on the far side of the ground. They're just inside the 10-metre line, so another chance for the Warriors. Manly must be very tired as they put the kick up. The chance is on. Oh, Craig Hancock did well and got it back into the field of play.
What's that about? 18, 20-odd tackles. Just on that, you'd think that Manly might go on and win this match tonight. They'll grow in confidence because they've held the Auckland Warriors out. And as Pete said, the Warriors have tried everything. Inside balls, outside balls, cutouts, and now the bombs, and they've just held them at bay.
He joined Manly, this fellow, in 1988, Craig Hancock, as a motor mechanic. He joined up in this professional game of rugby league, made his first grade debut in 1989, and he's been threatened by some very good wingers through his career, Hancock, but he's been able to bounce back and hold on to a #1 spot. And I don't think Bozo would swap him for any other winger. Roberts out on the 40-metre line, and Hasler goes away, having been stitched up. Mann and Kearney make the tackle with Alexander. 12-6 Manly in front, and really Bob Fulton would have to be happy. He wouldn't be happy with the penalty count, but to lead 12-6, given the possession and the territory that Auckland has enjoyed, it is quite an incredible scoreline.
I think he'd be ecstatic with the way they've played tonight. Very committed. Said they've had to make 30 more tackles than the Auckland Warriors have.
Sunday, 11 o'clock, the footy show live from Para Stadium. We're doing the match between the Bulldogs and the Western Reds. The footy show starts for us at 11 o'clock in the morning. 12 noon, the final day of the Australian Surf Life-Saving from Kurrawa. 4 o'clock Sports Sunday with Ken. And 6:30 you'll see the Doggies up against the Reds. 12-6 Manly, and we're in the last 60 seconds of this first half. Taya Rapati is put away. Greg, I haven't left you out of it, my friend, but we've had a few hiccups. A comment from you on the sideline, Greg Clark.
Well, I know that John Boney, the Warriors coach, is going to give them a real dressing down at the halftime break, Ray, because they are bitterly disappointed to have all that field possession and only have 6 points on the board. They need a better 40 in the second half. That's obvious looking at the scoreboard, but really the Warriors, with everything going for them tonight with the crowd, and I think the referee as well.
Yeah, well, that's a fair comment too, and really they should be in front on the scoreboard when you think about the amount of possession they've had. And of course the disallowed try that the boys made it quite clear and apparent that I was wrong about.
The crowd reckon they were right when they said it was a try. Believe me, I'm down here amongst them. Greg,
everybody reckons they were right. But it probably realistically should have been a 12-all scoreline. But then again, Terry Hill was inches away from the line. It wasn't considered a refereeing error. And Eddie Ward will probably still argue that he made an error. As Ridge now puts it down the ground for the chase across from Gene Namu. Players swapping and changing from, it wasn't Namu, but Tewa. But nevertheless, players chopping and changing from one position to another. Such is the versatility, particularly of Blake Alexander and Namu. Well, the halftime siren has sounded. This big crowd quite happy, I suppose.
Fantastic game, 18 tackles, and Mark Carroll leading the hit-ups for them as well.
There'll be Matt Sterlo is about to roll up his tent. He's choked down the fat man. He's tongue over the bit, I think.
It'll be a big bit.
Welcome back to Ericsson. 12-6 in favour of the Manly Sea Eagles. Great exhibition from them in the first half. Defence particularly. Ridge's restart. The Warriors bring it back, and I believe that to be Moana. Just inside his own 20-metre line. Penalty again. 8-3. 8-3 the penalty count to Auckland. Now, Eddie Ward must be very much on the verge of thinking about the sin bin for one of these Manly offenders just to make his point. Greg Clark from Television New Zealand has been our sideline man tonight. Greg, what did you find out at half-time?
Well, Bobby Fulton, the Manly coach, didn't beat around the bush. He has praised the defence like the commentary team, but he says no more silly mistakes. They've already given away a penalty. He feels the Warriors are a little brittle out wide. He wants to run it out wide, and Bobby says that Auckland can't win it from here. How's that for confidence? John Boney, the Auckland coach, well, he earmarked Cliff Lyons and Stephen Menzies as the two men to shut down in the second half. He's bitterly disappointed not to have more points on the board, and he says do something to get the crowd going, and he reminded his charges about the second 40 against Norths last week, which was a disaster.
6 more tackles for the Warriors. One of the Manly players diving in to try and take hold of the loose ball, but all he's done is give them 6 more tackles. Man, 12 metres away from the line. Now's as good a time as any for the Warriors to level. Alexander scheming and probing as Namu. That's where they're at. Alexander. Now a chance, and they'll go in and score through Moana. Well, Alexander has been threatening right through the night. That time he held it back just that little bit longer. And he presented Moana with a corridor to the line.
Oh, magnificent pass by Alexander. He'd been involved on the right-hand side of the field in the play, and in the end he drifts to the left. Now he just goes to the line. He just pulling Manning players out of the line there. He pulled Desi Hasler in, and Desi couldn't make the tackle on Moana.
They made the mistake of waiting to see what Alexander was going to do. Terry Hill staying out with his man opened the gap, and the straight runner was very strong. Ian Roberts tried to dive on that loose ball, as Ray pointed out. It gave the opposition another set of 6. Greg Alexander, still one of the best ball players in the competition. And plenty to say.
Young face. Study and concentration. Gene Namu, 1 from 3. Against his old club tonight. And he's hit the upright and it's bounced away. So 12-10 the score. Manly still in front. But there's John Loney up in the stand. But isn't it amazing that the little things that can turn a game around? Matthew Ridge earlier finding the dead ball line with a kickoff. That led to a try. Ian Roberts tries to do what he thinks is the right thing. He gives Auckland 6 more tackles. It turns out to be the wrong thing.
About Matthew Ridge converting the try from the sideline. Doesn't that give a side a boost, especially when Gene Namu has missed 2 relatively easy kicks close to the post.
2 weeks ago here he kicked 8 from 9 against Wests from all over the park. He's an exciting player, this Nitro Ocassini.
Nitro?
Well, that's what he runs a lot. He runs so hard and he's tough. He's really leading the charge for the Auckland forwards.
Man now. Moana, the try scorer. Away for Alexander. And now for Edwards. Kick is out on the full, so it will come back for Manly on the turnover, that being the last on the set for Auckland. Poor choice of options taken by Auckland. The ball got into the hands of the wrong player at the wrong time. Hill. Terry is put away, about 45 out from the Auckland line. 12 points to 10, Manly leading, but it couldn't be said that it's easy for them. The scoreboard indicates it's been anything other than that. With the penalty count heavy against them. Here's Lyons trying to do something, and eventually it comes down to Auckland.
Yeah, great work, Sean Hoppy, putting his body on the line in some danger where the boots were going to be. Knocked the ball back to one of his own players, and Bell takes it 38 out.
12-10 Manly, 45 minutes of the match gone. Teo Rapati pretty close to the halfway line. Crowd roars for another penalty as Ocassini crosses the halfway line. Now they're about 3 metres into Manly's area. Just wondering whether he lost the ball getting up, and referee Ward obviously wasn't watching. He must have got a call from his touch man.
Let's have a look and see if the Manly player makes any effort to get out. Ian Roberts, I don't think he does. Gets a penalty to the Warriors myself.
Manly comes up with the penalty, and Dean Bell argues the point with the referee. Ocassini obviously has said something.
I think Ocassini was saying he never actually lost the ball or let go of it.
And the replay showed that he didn't really. Away from the base of the scrum, Hasler. Lions a dummy half. No Jeff Tuvey tonight. A lot more responsibility for Lions. The ball bounces for Menzies. Then he beats Alexander. Stands, looks for somebody. They arrive too late. As they take it 42 metres away from Auckland's line, they look at the blind side for Ridge to use Carroll. Turnover as the Aucklanders come away with it. Carroll has coughed it up.
Oh, that was Vickers' play from Spud Carroll, trying to offload a miracle ball that was never on in traffic.
Namu, Alexander over the 40-metre line. They go back 10 metres. Tartupu off the feet, no knock on. Around the legs is Kosef, over the top is Gillespie. Attention for Dean Bell. Alexander. Edwards is with it. 35 out from the line. Man across to the left for Rapati to take it onward. He's put down by Lyons and Hasler right on that 30-metre line. 12-10 Manly. 47 minutes gone. They come right. The 11 with the bandaged head is Stephen Kearney. Through the hands of Blake into Bell. Bell now into Hoppy. Off for Blake. Blake. Evasive. Lost it. Manly away with it now. Hopawati.
A try-saving tackle there from Stephen Menzies. Good work, ball work from the Auckland Warriors, keeping it alive. We've got Blake here under the line as Manly go wide. Terry Hill beats his man.
Party came up with nothing. Lyons gets it on. Kosef turns it. Hancock wants it and he's in the middle of traffic. Put away by a two-man Auckland defence. 35 out. Hasler sees some space there behind the play the ball. No mark of defence. Hancock, the same. Over the 40-metre line.
Yeah, great work from Hasler and Hancock. That was exactly what was needed, just to calm things down.
Now there's plenty of personnel on the left of Cliffy Lyons. He goes out. He picks up Danny Moore. Moore tackle. Could have unloaded. No support for him. Lyons goes back to the blind. Cunningham shoulders away. Moore with the head ball. Now across to the right for Ridge. Ridge puts it on the ground. Rolls it in towards the in goal. And coming across to clean up is Tawa. 12-10. 48 and a half gone. Blakeman. Fast little man. Out from dummy half on your own line. Bell. 32 years of age now, the oldest of the Warriors. Sean Hoppy. Manly come up with it, so they're starting to pay scant regard to the importance of possession both sides, and again Manly had a chance. Carroll's head goes down. Mark knows he's done a couple of dumb things out there tonight. His hands haven't been his best friend.
He misses the ball here, but then Desi Hasler is the one, just a little knock on there. And they could have put some pressure on them, Manly, only 20 metres out from the Warriors line.
One of few league players, I suppose, that wears glasses. And I sometimes wonder whether under these lights, a bit of sweat in the eyes, it doesn't help a bloke like Mark Carroll. Roberts can't control it either. Kangaroo, and Roberts is blowing up. He said, oh, come on, that got a bit of help.
Well, both teams really have lost the plot early in this second half. Hardly any turned over possession in the first. We saw Edwards come up with a simple knock on. That should have been a penalty to Manly. Gene Namu raking the ball out.
Sideline comment from Greg Clark. Yes, Greg?
Well, Ray, I don't know how many pairs of contact lenses Carroll has here in Auckland, but he did lose one in the first half. I wonder if that's an effect on him.
Oh, very, very much so. I wasn't aware that he wore contacts. I knew he wore glasses, but I think there are a disadvantage blokes like Big Mark Carroll with the lighting and the perspiration and the dampness of tonight. This is Occasini. Maybe I'm trying to make excuses because he's a mate of mine. Away now from dummy half goes Phil Blake, and Hasler's in pursuit of him. Teammates from that era when Blake was doing magical things. Players that I think about when I think back on time, and very few of them can bring the crowd to their feet every time they handle. Blake was one of those players. Roberts now. 32 metres out. They're off to the left here, Manly. Across from Kosef for Lyons. Menzies outside him, and Menzies taken by Bell. Carney comes over the top. The hand goes in on the ball, trying to break it free without the ref seeing it. Gillespie off now for Moore. Bell is there again with Gene Namu, is it? Now it's Hoppy. And a penalty this time goes to Manly.
He's had a quiet game, Danny Moore, tonight. He's earned his side a penalty there.
Now, Hopawati drives towards the line. Manly wide. Like an arrowhead, they go out wide to that right-hand side. Cross now from Kosef, a long ball, good ball. Cunningham tries to keep Edwards at bay. He takes the tackle. Menzies is the dummy half. Roberts is in the line on the blind side. Menzies unable to really do much with that tackle. He loses the ball getting up. It's a penalty to Manly. penalty to the Eagles. Referee Ward said that got some help, raked out by the Warriors, and he's called somebody out for a chat.
He must be close to putting someone in the sin bin for all these infringements around the play-the-ball area. Patience must be wearing Matthew Ridge right position here, I feel, to take an easy kick for goal.
That's Joe Vagana going out for the Auckland Warriors in 23. Desi Hasler actually pointed to the post, asking the question on the previous penalty. This is a gift, 2 points. It's the player coming in, Steve Kearney, really wiping out Steve Menzies' head. Menzies' effort to get a quick play of the ball going. Referee ruling there was some interference from the marker.
Very well contained tonight, the Auckland back row, including Tatupu, who's been taken off. Manly getting the reserves. Well, they're not really getting them limbered up, but I guess the go these days, keep warm, keep stretched. Both Manly reserves doing that. The moment as Dean Bell considers where they're up to. Well, I'll tell you where they'll be up to if Matthew Ridge has got any say in it. They're 4 points behind. That's exactly what's happened. Manly 14, Auckland 10 from Ericsson Stadium. We're back with more in just a minute. And welcome back after 43 minutes. A very quick restart. Hancock. Hasler back now for Hill. His defence tonight has been pretty ordinary. A couple of times he's been brushed away like he doesn't exist. Gillespie. Hasler. Good running, good selective running by Des Hasler out of dummy half.
It's very simple but very effective play in these type of conditions, and Hasler's one of the best dummy half runners over the last 10 seasons.
Roberts now. Right on the halfway, 5 tackles gone. For Ridge to kick. He keeps it fairly low, but it's a torpedo punt with a fair amount of weight on it. Down on the zone line is Tewa. And he brings it away, Fetu Tewa. 14-10 down, 55 gone almost. Hoppy goes across from his right wing to take it out. And every time he's handled, he's created some problems for the Eagles. Hill made that tackle. Blake does a dummy half scoot. Big hit over the top by Roberts. It was meant to be. It wasn't required, and it missed its mark anyway. Near the halfway line, the Aucklanders desperate for 2 points. They haven't lost the 2 that they've already won, but if the bloke in the public bar has his way, they certainly will. They've got long memories, particularly down South Sydney way and out Western Suburbs way. Oh my goodness gracious me.
Well, it was an excellent kick from the Auckland Warriors. It found open spaces and it bounced in the right part of the ground for them, just around the try line. Mix up between Hopewadi, Matthew Ridge. Matthew Ridge, look, he called for it. You could see Matthew Ridge call for it. He's blown up. Not happy with his wingman at all.
Johnny Hopewadi has been given a verbal by Matthew Ridge, but all Matthew said to him, "What are you doing?" But then Danny Moore rushed over and patted him on the back, the youngsters, and said, "Come on, don't worry about it." Ridge knows that he's going to give the ball back to the Warriors for 6 more, and so he goes for as much as he's got in that drop kick. It was a great kick. And now Vagana comes back. Have a look at the size of him. Now Okasini made to look small by Vagana. 20 metres out from the line as they come across the run around between the halves. The extra man is made and Bell pops it off on the right to Moana. 15 out from the line as Alexander looks back on the blind, goes the open, puts on a sprint, gets it away. A chance for Auckland, ending 2 metres from the line. Still though, they press on. Okasini, he's pulled down 2 metres out on 5.
Numbers to the right, it is the last.
Man, Alexander. Quick hands for Namu. Namu shows it for the kick. Pulls it back. Picked up off the ground by Kearney. He flicks it back. Alexander goes around inside the 10, throws the dummy, unloads the ball. It's right back, and the touch judge puts his flag up and says it's out.
I'm just wondering who the touch judge is going to say put it out. Looks like a Manly feed and turnover it is to the Manly team, but great Manly defence once again. Alexander, how he's come to life this second half. He's taking them on and making breaks.
Yeah, had to throw the ball one earlier, but didn't he? He had Hoppy coming back inside, and there was some support players back that way. Ran into a traffic jam there in the shape of Hopewadi and Danny Moore. Craig Hancock takes the ball out from dummy half from the turnover. There you see the touch judge giving his decision.
Mind you, it's a decision that not too many agree with here at the ground. Look at this run by Terry Hill, a bulldozing run. Good stuff. No markers, but he played it back, and Hasler again from dummy half. And then Kosef tried to get a quick pass away. Good defence by the winger who came in. Dunford is on. It's gone to Ridge. Ridge takes them on. Mann and Kearney. They slam him down the fullback. They're near the halfway line. Lyons is the dummy half. Off to the right now for Nick Kosef, who's been at first receiver all night. Terry Hill picked off by Rapati right on the halfway line. Kosef again to dummy half. Cross now and put down. Put down by Dunford. Pleases the Auckland crowd. 14-10, the visitors lead.
Yeah, the sort of mistakes that Auckland are waiting on, they're sweating on. 20 minutes remaining in the match. A simple error made by Matt Dunford.
The assignment for the more experienced players, and of course a nightmare it can be for the younger players, including Matt Dunford. Away now for Alexander on the halfway line. Kearney calls him round. Alexander is there. Stop start. Alexander pulling out some of his old gems here at the moment. Now it is Vagana, and he almost lost it. I'm sure he did. Just for a split second, got it back in. Mann gives it. Namu on the right. Away for Edwards to give on for Bell. Going to ground, unloading. Hoppy stands them up, in and away. Hoppy's into the corner. Hoppy's in to score. Beautiful try by the winger, Sean Hoppy. He went in and away on John Hopewadi, adding further drama to John's night. But, look, this is a classic winger. Watch him in action on the replay at 14-all.
One of the best finishing wingers in the competition. Probably a case of experience against inexperience here. Hopewadi just, again, hanging off to see what his opposite man was going to do. A change of pace, that sudden explosion, too much for him. Ridge came up with the tackle, but it was too late. One-on-one, magnificent finishing.
Gee, I've got to wrap on him as a winger. He's a really, really good winger, and he just showed up John Hopewadi there, and I mean, it's man-on-man defence. Hopper showed his inexperience by not going into Hoppy, and Hoppy's drawn them level 14-all. Kick to come for Namu. He's missed a couple of sitters. What about this one from out wide?
Yeah, the kick got just about the same pile that Matthew Ridge converted the first half try from. He's missed some easy ones. Long odds, but nothing would surprise me.
Man of the match tonight will take out the $1,000 provided by Ansett. Just updating you on that magnificent sports calendar on the 9 Network this weekend. The Masters Golf tomorrow continues at 6 a.m. Wide World of Sports tomorrow. The Nutrigrain Kellogg's Australian Surf Life Saving Championships. The Golden Slipper, the BMW. Rugby League tomorrow night from Darwin. And on Sunday, another long list of sport. Gene Namu. This looks better. It's coming around and it's short. Well, the line was perfect. The length wasn't there. 14-all, 61 gone. Here's a break. Yes, welcome back. Just over an hour gone. Menzies with a closed, or almost a closed left eye. Yes, Sunday, 11 o'clock. The footy show. 11 o'clock live from Para Stadium. 12 noon. More Surf Life Saving, the final day from Kurrawa. 4 o'clock Sports Sunday. 6:30 Sydney Bulldogs versus Western Reds.
Of course, you think back to the try that was scored for Auckland. Where did it come from? A simple Manly error. points. Well, I think every try tonight has come from an error that's happened on the other side.
Man, 14-14. A little bit more than an hour gone as Hydro Okasini takes it up. Just inside the 40-metre line, and another of the big men gets in the queue. This is Vagana. That's Edwards. 5 gone. Mark Carroll on the wrong side of that tackle. He finished up right underneath the fallen Kiwi as Namu keeps it low. Hopewadi takes it on the legs and then cleans it up. Then he loses it. Ward says play on.
Hopewadi's he's copped one in the hip, the ribs area. He's down. He's just getting up now. But what a great game, Rabs. I mean, hey, you can have your Super League. This will do me any day.
Now, Auckland come up with the ball they've been looking for. Fetu Taiwa. Inside the 20-metre line, Alexander. Okasini. Hasler went for him, missed him. Menzies grappled him and brought him down. Mann plays it now. 3 out from the line. Away from Taiwa into Alexander. On for Namu. He comes across and then for Blake. Blake puts it on the ground. Hopewadi is with it. Clippy lines. Roberts.
They've lifted, haven't they, Auckland? That try, taking the 14-all. Great knee into the fence once again. To score tries against Manly, they've actually got to miss tackles. They'll never get out position, and it's just the odd error that they make to the team score tries against them.
John Hopewadi has left the foot. Oh, big tackle there. What about Joe Vagana?
Oh, Carroll.
Doesn't miss. Oh, just saying that Hopewadi has left the field. Some more big defence out there. Jersey 18 for Manly, Adam Vitoli. Imagine making his first grade debut. Roberts backslam.
Roberts is now standing tall. He knows that there's a lot more work required if they're going to take the 2 points back across the Tasman. Leading by example is Roberts, but now Auckland back on their 10-metre line with Taiwa. Hill is there to end his progress together with Hancock on the right wing. Hill dragging Hancock away, making the Aucklander actually play the ball. Now Rapati back for Hoppy, who's come in off the wing to take that play. Tackled by Roberts and Lyons. 40 metres out from the line, and away goes Blake. He beat Roberts, then takes the tackle and serves it back for Edwards. Logan Edwards. About 7 or 8 metres on his own side of the halfway. They feed it to the left for Alexander to give to Vagana. Away goes Cliffy Lyons, ricocheting off the front wall. Taken by Hasler. Vagana has taken one. Eyes or where?
Bob Lanigan, the trainer for Auckland, saying to the referee that he's cut.
Also very concerned, Bob. Bob Lanigan, one of the great goal kickers of his time in rugby league.
Give him a set of legs, don't they?
Who?
Bob Lanigan. He doesn't Parramatta as well as C. Solomona comes on. That's a blood bin.
Water talk. Ordinary set of legs. If yours actually ever came together, you'd be 9 foot tall.
Number 8, C. Solomona.
So a blood bin for Vagana. 14-all, 65 minutes gone. Greg Clark on the sideline, a comment from you?
Yeah, a real shame about Joe Vagana. I know you've been wrapped in some of the big hits and some of the hit-ups he's been making. Hard to believe he was a junior Kiwi last year in that win over the young Joeys in Redcliffe. What a find for the future.
He was a big young Kiwi, if I can put it that way. He's eaten plenty of porridge. At the end of the sheep, he looks like he's eaten one. Not only him, but a couple of his mates as well. Oh, Bertoli knows that he's in first grade. Okasini. Little Hydra. Hit him with a nitro. This is Koseb. Hasler has done some good things from dummy half. They needed settlers like that. Hasler's provided. 14-all. Now they work the blind side for Bertoli. Inside for Danny Moore. Moore's away. He's in to score. And good work by that replacement lad. He held it up until the last moment. Adam Bertoli. Danny Moore scores the try.
Well, Sean Hoppy scored the last one for the Auckland side. He's made his only mistake of the night. He was at marker, went to sleep, went too quickly. There's only one marker there. They've got to be criticised for only getting the one man there. Cliff Lyons again summed up the situation perfectly. So did Bartoli. The pass inside to Danny Moore. As we said, he's had a quiet game, but he was on the spot on that occasion.
Well read by Cliffy Lyons. The problem for Auckland was, look at, there's two players on the ground. Dean Bell was walking around, Okasini on the ground. There's just a Fernick and beautiful passage there for Bartoli. What a big thrill for him in first grade tonight. He just got smashed in defence, but sets up the try for Moore.
Pointed out earlier, Paul, that most of the tries have come tonight from errors. They've also come from players overreading the situation. As we've said before, the only player who's really dangerous is the man with the football. On that occasion, it was Cliff Lyons at dummy half.
Here's a statistic that you'll be interested in. The total Manly tackle count has now reached 197. And by comparison, Auckland 130. You might say 1/3 more work has been required from Manly in defence as Reg brings it around ever so gently. The flags go up. A converted try to Manly.
The Warriors 14.
It's great work by Cliff Roslin. The big dummy to the right, and Bartoli just did everything to perfection there. And Danny Moore on hand to score the try.
Simple set of 6 needed by Manly. Some good dummy half running. This time they get Terry Hill involved. That's a tremendous run from Hill. He's come up with some barnstorming stuff up the middle.
Hasler again. Reveling in this atmosphere tonight. There's Hasler. Roberts. Tom-toms are beating in the background. Lyons kicks, looking for his outside man. Bartoli comes fast, but it's into touch. Well in front of Poppy and Bartoli. 6 points the margin, 69 minutes gone.
And wouldn't 7-point margin be a very attractive proposition for the Manly side at the moment? Tough way to watch the football, that. I would imagine if Manly get an opportunity, they haven't scored late in the tackle count, somebody would be getting in position to kick a goal, field goal. Hasler's been outstanding tonight. 90 metres to travel for the Warriors.
Poppy. Bell. Roberts been very strong, particularly in the second half. He leads the tackle count on 29. Roberts, 29 tackles, 10 hit-ups. Carroll's performance much higher than it may first appear, 28 and 13. They turn it back, Auckland, and they give Manly an opportunity with 6 tackles from 30 metres out. Played by Cunningham. Menzies a dummy half, and again this big man involves himself.
They've got to work to the posts and get Matthew Ridge into position.
Carroll, that's the 20-metre line. Where is Reggie? Standing directly behind the dummy half. He's called for one more. Lyons. Across, and then Menzies! Menzies says, forget about the one, let's go for the 4. Oh, what a pass by Menzies. That was like Ricky Stewart at Ellen Road. An enormous pass, and Hancock gets the try.
Forget the field goal. Set up a play on the fringe of the ruck, get Stephen Menzies as a second-man runner and let him bust through the tackle. Okasudi made the mistake there. Copped up a simple pass, and when Cunningham was there to clean up. Some good decoy work here, runners everywhere. Little gap appeared, wasn't much of it, and Alexander missed the tackle. Menzies, the flick pass was magnificent work to Craig Hancock.
Oh, what pass.
This is just fantastic football. Cliff Lyons, Menzies has just been hanging there all night. easily beat the Alexander tackle. He knew Hancock was there, like all good finishing wingers should be. And this has turned out now 24-14. Manly should win this match. It's been a great victory for them.
Well, I guess I've paid the pass, the ultimate that I can pay it. Comparing it to the Stewart-Dean pay combination, I think it was Ellen Road. It certainly wasn't Drum Hall, was it?
No, that was the one, Ray.
Magical stuff.
The thing about Steve Menzies, have a look through, he doesn't make many mistakes in a game either, does he?
No.
Got great hands, doesn't miss many tackles. Really is just a complete player.
Matthew Ridge, 4 from 4, and has he had a simple one? Here he is from 3 metres in, and again he's got it. Rugby league equivalent to Robin Hood. 26-14.
It's just amazing. Matthew Ridge, he just gives the side so much confidence. As Manly scoot away to lead 26-14. I saw Manly play the Gold Coast last week. The Gold Coast were ordinary. Manly weren't much better, and Ridge kicked, I think, 2 from 5. He's certainly improved tonight.
Well, ordinary missed tackles there, weren't they? Greg Alexander just got ran straight over the top of, and Phil Blake had a pretty good shot at Stephen Menzies also. Terry Hill comes looking for the football and proves a handful.
Strong, straight running by Terry Hill tonight. Like a forward out in the centres, if I can use that description. It's all been straight ahead stuff.
There's been some mass changes out there for the Warriors as well, Ray. Chewy Mavavi back out there to Tupu. You'll find the Garner is back into the action as well. He's on the last. Matthew Ridge drives the ball low, in behind Tewa. We'll keep it in the field of play.
There's a bit of interest now on you people playing the footy tab. 14.5 start if you took Auckland.
Oh, Mr. Clockerborn down.
You're on them. Struck 4 in the play, the ball prematurely, and the referee gives the penalty to Auckland. The rule is that when it's placed on the ball, you can when the ball is placed on the ground, you can strike for it when it's placed and released. But that was a premature strike by Manly. 9-5 the penalties. Okasini.
He's had a tremendous game tonight, Okasini, but just 2 little mistakes have cost his side. He was on the ground when there was only one marker in the shape of Sean Hoppy for Danny Moore's try, and he copped up the football in his own territory, which led to Stephen Menzies setting up Hancock. There's another mistake, this time Namu.
One can imagine that the Warriors would be making some mistakes now because it's very much a desperate situation for them. More of the unlikely players making mistakes now. Gene Namu. Rain straight down. There's been no wind to blow this depression away. Came in off the bay and had just absolutely decided, well, I'll take land rights over the top of you. Every day to be spending in your hotel room. It's Roberts now. It's been way up there in the minds of Peter and Paul. The Ansett man of the match. Several great contributors to the performance. This is Hermano. 30-metre line. Now with Lyon sweeping it back for his captain. Very proud Matthew Ridge tonight has led the Manly side into a game against a team that probably holds a lot of feelings for Matthew Ridge, particularly playing them here at Ericsson. Menzies, another fine effort. Lyons goes for the drop goal, and the hand indicates from Eddie Ward that it missed. So back to the 20-metre line for the restart. The clock now showing us just under 5 minutes to go. Sideline comment from Greg, and Greg, as I go down to you, thanks for your help tonight.
It's been a pleasure, Ray, and you mentioned on Matthew Ridge, I was a little surprised to hear this big Ericsson Stadium crowd booing him early on, but they stopped it in the second half. But, you know, after the disappointment dies down tonight, I think the Auckland fans will be a little happy because it's Manly that has beaten the Warriors. In fact, they do go on to beat them. Prior to the Warriors, it was Manly who had the biggest supporters club. They had a lot of following here. Now, of course, that has died away, but they are a very popular side on this side of the Tasman, no doubt about that.
Very much a man for all seasons, Greg Clark. He's down there sitting in the middle of the seasons. He opened the television coverage for TV New Zealand tonight as the host. Then he became our sideline eye. Is there anything else you can do, Greg?
I might get a rise, hopefully.
They might ask you to mow the lawn here tomorrow. Oh, Batoli with a little bit of nerves coming through. Line dropout will restart it. Hoppy menacing the youngster.
So with a Manly win tonight, it means Auckland's still on 0 points.
We're taking it for granted, aren't we?
Well, they should lose the 2 points. Everyone's saying that. They'll lose them. Still on 0 points after 5 rounds, and I don't think anyone could have imagined that. And, of course, next week they're here at home to Illawarra. And they won't be an easy bit either.
I wonder who ever had the job of keeping an eye on the replacements, where he's still got the position. John Maney will take the rap, but every club has a man employed to do exactly that.
Well, Maney even put the duncer's cap on at training on the Tuesday. He's prepared to wear it. Tatupu! 12 metres out from the line. Now from man. Cross and turn back inside and put down by Vagana. Back it will come now for 20-metre restart. Vagana just putting it down. No excuses could be offered for him. Junior Kiwi last year, did Greg tell us? Junior Kiwi last year. 26-14, the last couple of minutes. Ad-set $1,000 Man of the Match award. Will be part of Peter Sterling's close of this match from Auckland tonight. Alexander has played well, and then very hard hit on Tumavavi by Matthew Ridge. They play it on the 20-metre line, and it's with Blake across for Bell, and then on for Kearney. Kearney put away by Batoli and Moore, who combined to put a try together for Manly in the second half. A dummy half Bell. Now with Namu, a floating pass. I was going to say dangerous, but nothing's dangerous when you're trailing by this far. And now Tumavavi, centre of the ground. 11 out. Again, you'll see the big racing from Rose Hill tomorrow on Wide World of Sports. Little kick by Alexander. Blake goes through in a hurry. Lyons takes it on the full, and that brings it out to the 20-metre line.
Taking their time to come out to the 20-metre line, the Manly side. And why not? They've worked very hard, as we pointed out, in defence tonight. Hasler comes up to the mark. This is all we'll see from them, this area of the field. Plenty of dummy half running. No passes involved, unless it comes from the dummy half.
Mano getting close to offside. Plays at 35 out from his own line. David Gillespie had it, lost it, got it back in again. Lyons, Ridge, keeping it low, sending the runners after it, and Terry Hill and Craig Hancock are speeding down the ground. There to deny them any opportunity, any further opportunity as Blake. So if you've taken Auckland on your footy tab on the first night, on the first leg of round 5, you're home. Because this clock is telling me there's 10 seconds to go.
Yeah, and if they take an intercept, they'll knock you out.
You can knock me out if you promise to have your legs straightened. So there it is, the siren. Another magnificent night at Ericsson. 26-14. Big match atmosphere. This is the match that Auckland have been waiting for. It didn't provide them with their dreams coming to a reality. Unfortunately, though, it was clouded by so much about something else to do with the game other than the game. 26-14 in front of a capacity audience.